Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It is Markets in the Morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is Friday. Let's go. Friday, November 17th, 2023. This is Markets in the Morning, where we take a look at the price action of the cryptocurrency market, the stock market, Bitcoin, the altcoin market, XRP. We take a look over there at precious metals, the United States dollar currency index, the DXY. Take a look over there at any type of financial news that's going on and any type of crypto news as we get ready to kick the day off and as the stock market is set to open up in the next 3 minutes. Have a little bit of a mix over there in the stock market as it gets ready to open. You got the Dow that's looking set to open up about 50 points. The S&P is going to open up about 3 or 4 points, and the NASDAQ up about 16 points. So pretty flat opening up there for the United States stock market, as we got metals up just barely as well. So pretty flat opening over there. And as you can see over here in crypto, pretty mixed over here too. You can see the total market cap is up 0.03%. You got Bitcoin up there just a little bit over into the green. You got a lot of stuff down there in the red. The whole market in general, take the whole market cap of all of crypto up 0.03%, right in line with the stock market. And what's going on over there is there's not a whole lot of trending happening over there in the stock market. As we get the day kicked off, you can see Bitcoin sitting there at 36,340. Question is, I posted over there on Twitter yesterday, the moment of truth. Have we actually reached the very end of this thing? So we've been sitting in here for 3 weeks. So it was really the expectation that we'd be in here about a month. So I think today is day number 24 for Bitcoin. Is it finally time where we're going to get to move on from this phase? As you know, we kind of go through different phases and here on the YouTube channel where we're just kind of like, all right, we go through 3 months of this with everybody screaming for 12K. Just say, hey, look, you know, we're just trying to work our way through there. Then we get to our next phase and we start working through the next one. Well, there you go. That seems like it would be the ending phase of that. We'll see what ends up happening and if we can continue marching our way up in here. If so, it would likely be the Bitcoin show here for a minute in the cryptocurrency market, which I've tried to spend the last 4 weeks showing you guys. That is what we want. We want to see Bitcoin march higher. I've showed you all that stuff on divergences and things trailing behind. I've shown you total 3 bucking up against the peak and slightly above the height that it's had there since July. We can pull that up right over here. There you go. Yeah, you can see total 3 bucking up here again. That's also exactly like what was going on back in here. But we did have to get that big break in Bitcoin first before we could see the altcoin moving up. So all eyes on this. We would like to see that thing keep marching up. Of course, big question still remains as well. Is this just some trickery looking like 2020, or are we just still continuing along with 2016? In the event that we are just continuing with 2016, and if we do see this thing just go into failure, you would definitely want to see the top of this range hold that we have been at for a while. But that does, of course, open up the doors of what happened next. 7 more months, just like every recovery that we've seen. Ranging, breakout, ranging, breakout, ranging. 7 months, right? That's what we just got done doing. You just got done with 7 months of 12K. You got done with 7 months of we're going to $1 million in 90 days. We're going to 12K. Oh my gosh, we're in a bull market. No, wait, we're going to 12K. Don't expect retail to act any different. It would be the same story. But hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully we are in the actual march up. That sure looks like that would be the final one. You got the ABC, you got the ABC, you got the quick move up. We said, hey, you know, there would be one more. There'd be a big wicked fall back down. We got it right there. Now we'd be looking for going into this weekend or some type of timed news to come out today and hopefully see it ramp up. And that would be good for the altcoin market in general, just because, you know, altcoin market, we're all tied to Bitcoin. Hate it or love it. Utility. It all matters on liquidity flows. So the next thing we would be cheering for, I am cheering for here on the YouTube channel, is I'm cheering for a march up on Bitcoin. And I would expect it to be the Bitcoin show during that moment for that move. But hopefully getting the altcoin market to trail right behind as it does. So flip you over here on the daily. We don't need daily up there. We need daily down here. Because TradingView does not like to show altcoin market caps if you are not in the daily time frame. There you go. There's total 3. As you can see, this would be like where we are right now, right? And whoa, if we can get that break, right? Get that break from there, not too far behind comes the bigger moment there for the altcoin market. So if you ain't cheering for Bitcoin, you ain't doing it right. So that's what we're cheering for right now, at least here on this YouTube channel, is for Bitcoin to get another step up and another leg up and be able to hold that level in there. Please, dear God, not another 7 months of this stuff. All right, moving on. Let's take a look over there at the total market cap. So total market cap of crypto still holds there above the preliminary support. Remember, I don't remember. This week has been weird. Let me look at XRP. Hold on. How long ago was this? Okay, good. This was last Monday. I was getting ready for the show. I was doing last minute breakfast to make sure I was not starving before I came on here, because I was like, oh God, these guys don't want that. I was like, was that just this Monday that there was all that euphoria? And like, if it was just this Monday, then this has been the longest week of our lives. But no, that was last Monday. So it was 2 weeks ago when we had the euphoria in the market, and it was this week, the next Monday, where we had the fake ETF stuff happen in there. Okay. Back over here. So I don't remember when I put this line here is the point I'm making. It was someday during markets in the morning when we talked about it. But this has been the preliminary support, as you know, in an accumulation schematic, right? This is our preliminary support level in here. Let's do this. Oh, boy. Like that. Maybe a little bit more. How's that? That's good enough. As you can see, they're working on that sign of strength, getting above preliminary support right now. What we talked about is that a couple of days ago, what did we do? We came down and we slammed into it. We're able to hold the daily candle close. And then here, just in the last few days, right, we actually came back down yesterday. Really, that big slam in Bitcoin actually went down and literally hit it right on the actual button. So we're still sitting on top of preliminary support here for the total market. But I think the next phase that we're actually kind of cheering for is we're cheering for Bitcoin to kind of go ahead and get itself a nice big fat rally. To get a move out of here and get this show going again and confirm that, hey, everything is good. We're not going to keep ranging. We're not going to strip the dopamine away. Right. I was looking in chat. I was watching you guys right when I turned this on so I could see you guys chatting in the beginning. And oh my gosh, you could just see it. You can see it. Let me go back and read these things. Oh, no, I can't see him anymore. But you could just see it. Oh my God, it's crashing. We're doomed. Every day, every day, like we have to have green or else it's the end of the world. Nope. This is what we're hoping we got. This is what we're hoping for here. And hopefully if we can get our big shot up in here, this would be the Bitcoin show. But this will likely lead to jealousy capitulation. So there's going to be the people who are going to be screaming, I should be in Bitcoin. I should be in Bitcoin. Do whatever you want. It probably would. It probably will be Bitcoin in a moment like that. It will be a Bitcoin show in a moment like that. And hopefully we do get that. But I tried to just show you right now, overlaying that total 3 right there. It took that happening to then get everything else to say, all right, all systems go, total, we're out. Right. So that's what we're kind of cheering for right now. And it's the moment of truth there for Bitcoin to see if it can hold and if it can get the break. And that's what we've got going into the weekend. So what would that tell you? Right? Like magical unicorn, fairy dust, puppet masters pulling the puppet strings, God, or a simulation. We sure are primed for some news, aren't we? It's a Friday. Get some FOMO news going up in there. Make everybody say, it's Bitcoin only. F your altcoins. Bitcoin only. Show me a chart and I'll tell you the news. You're primed for something. If this is the case, right? If we break down here, well, we're just screwed. We're here for a long time. But if this is the break, we are primed for a Bitcoin news story. So if that ends up happening today, you heard the news here first. All right. Shifting along, total 3, same story, right? Still sitting up on here on top of the highest closes that it's had, dating for the last August of 2022. What does that put us at? A year and 3 months, continue to have our highest closes as we still waddle in here on sign of strength phase, trying to get out waiting for Bitcoin to tell that story. I think that's really what the market is doing. That's kind of what I've been consistently saying in my videos and everything. We're waiting for Bitcoin to tell us that we can keep going. So definitely a big cheer for Bitcoin moving forward. Looking over here at the safety trade dominances, we've been bringing this up. I drew this squiggly line a good 3 to 4 months ago. I've just left the squiggly line. I don't even think that's really the bottom. I think I've now added this box because I think that seems to be more likely of where this would be before things got really stale for a little while. One thing to note, right? Just a reminder, because I don't know, right? Like, I don't know. I'm speculating like everybody else is that, when this moment happened right in here, this was fun. This was wild action happening for the cryptocurrency market. And where you are right now, like this moment right here, okay? That's right here, okay? Market rallies really strong. Okay, so you see the dominance fall really hard, right? Which would be one more fall down in the dominance. Then we end up we get the one more additional rally here in the market, and then we get hit with C19, right? So I don't know if that's going to happen again. I don't know if there's going to be something crazy like a C19 sell-off that happens and just destroys markets everywhere, and that's going to be the case. I do not know, but I will tell you that's what that was. So that's where that peak came in. Where this market peaks right in here, and then it becomes chill out zone, right? Let's go back and look over here. Let's see if we can find it on here. Right? So like that's this moment right here is equivalent to where we are right now, like structurally, right? So like this whole thing puts you right here, which is like right there, right? One more fall in all those dominances together. As altcoins rally and rock. And then what happens right after here is where everything hits the fan and you see C19. Are we going to be able to predict that is going to actually happen in here? No. But I'm going to point it out to you. So, it seems that, the likelihood of if we get that fall down in there, I'll probably still continue to build my cash position a little bit more. And the challenge with this particular metric and the way we're looking at it, right? This includes Bitcoin, this includes Ethereum, this includes USDT, this includes USDC. It's really the safety trade because that's the only thing we had back in 2018, 2019 was Bitcoin as a safety trade. The USDT, the entire market cap of it was like $1 billion. And that was the only stable coin, $1 billion. Now it's just USDT alone is 80 billion. So that's why we use the safety trade dominance to show that, because that's where people would flock to in 2018, 2019 is Bitcoin to seek safety in the crypto market. Escape the altcoins, the place they would go to is to Bitcoin, regardless of if Bitcoin was pulling down. So either way, one more, hopefully. And then it may be a protection time there for just a minute. So hopefully we do end up getting that, and that's what we're kind of waiting on. Bitcoin, you need to be the showstopper. You need to rock. And again, like I keep saying, I am not predicting we are having a C19 moment, but I will tell you what that was, right? That's what that ended up being. Hope it isn't. Dear God. All right, XRP. Man, you see the chat in there. Oh, my God. The crying. The dopamine is gone. The dopamine has worn off. Again, that's a reminder for everyone. When there's 4,500 people in markets in the morning, that is your signal. All right. So it seems like I can't come up with any scenario to say we're not going to backtest the breakout level. It sure seems like it. We know that to be the case also from 2017. It spent the literal exact amount of time in here when this pullback was occurring. It was backtesting the top of that range. Hard to make any case to say it's not going to, and especially since it's really just in the dead middle of a range. This asset, of course, has just gotten harder and harder to be able to do TA on for the fact that we know that XRP only goes into bull runs with the rest of the market. We know the rest of the market did all this. This is a 4-hour news-driven event. It takes it all back to get back to where the rest of the market is. We know that XRP has really gotten over here, which is the April crash. That's really, that's where we're finding resistances for everything. We've already seen that show up over there on Chainlink. We know that's where Bitcoin is currently, back at the April breakdown level. That's where a lot of these assets have gotten to. So if we kind of let's remove that, you say to yourself, well, what have you done? You've kind of like broken out of Wyckoff accumulation. What's typical when you get back to these levels, you go back and you back test these things. But, we have to sit here and say this thing never happened. We also have to sit here and say, well, that would be a weird place to stop. That's not a retracement level for it to stop. Is typically it's going to actually hit some kind of retracement level. We even hit the 618 over in here before we ended up pulling back down. Was this it? Right? Was this fake news again? Right? Do we have a technical? Did we hit the 618? Did we not hit the 618? It lasted 3 minutes? I think the whole thing was 45 minutes. Is that it? Right? Maybe. Very, very difficult. If you're just going to be as simple as can be on this, as easy as you can possibly be, you would just sit here and say, look, this has been the accumulation range all down through here. This is Wyckoff. Fake news, not fake news. Very amazing news. Very amazing news. But XRP moves with the market. And then we finally get a real Wyckoff accumulation breakout. And what are we doing? We're backtesting the top of the Wyckoff. That would be a simple analysis of it. And so that's really just kind of where I'm at on this thing. It's not like it hasn't gotten or it's struggling more than the market. Well, people would love to think that it is. XRP is up over 100% since the June lows. That's better than a lot of the market. And the prices that it's gotten to have been to the April of 2022 price levels. And we know that's where Bitcoin is, right? Bitcoin's right here, April, May 2022. So it's not like it's lagging the market or not doing anything that the market is doing where the market's rampaging higher. We even know total, right? The total market cap, it itself is not even as high as May and April. So it's not like it's lagging behind. I think the thing to really kind of cheer for would just be that it is backtesting the top of that range and hopefully it can hold it, right? So that's what you got for XRP. Otherwise, it's not lagging the market. It's not behind the market. If anything, it's ahead of the market, being up here in May and April. And hopefully that we can just get a successful backtest and work our way up. Looking over there at the stock market as it gets going. There we go. Market opens, stock market down. Dow Jones down 24 points. NASDAQ down 58 points. S&P down 6 points. After having slightly green in the opening, it looks like we do shift on over there to red. Biggest winners this morning so far, Caterpillar, Ford, and ARK. Biggest losers today, Tesla, Microsoft, and Google to the downside. Metals slightly up as dollar is slightly down. So we'll take a look over there at gold. Gold back into the retracement levels once again. DXY right back down at these local lows that it's been at here for the past week. Still continuing to hold it. So I wouldn't say anything dramatically new has happened with the DXY as it sits right down in here. Not exactly exhibiting a ton of strength, but still holding. So gold back. Again, DXY, these indexes, not DXY, DJI, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, right? The YM1, which is the E-mini Dow future. So this is going to give us trading of the Dow Jones even into after hours and into pre-market. So this is the one that opens up Sunday night to see what the market is going to do as we get ready to start off the week. And we could see this one did get back to the retracement levels, trying to get above, and failure so far today. Looks like it is struggling. We are making that comparison over there to gold as well. And that we just watched the Dow and everything really do exactly what gold just did, where it got it's been in this range, right? This is the pull down range that takes place from here from July. 1, 2, 3 weeks back into retracement levels. That's actually exactly what we saw happening over here for gold. 1, 2, 3 weeks back into retracement levels. Then it struggles after that. So gold has obviously had a nice week this week. We'll see if it can reclaim all of the losses from last week, but it's taken back quite a bit of them. However, still ranging. The answer is still not there for gold and for the Dow Jones Industrial Average as they both just continue to fight back and forth one of them waiting to choose to be the winner. So, all right. That's what we'll watch for. Heading into the weekend is Bitcoin. If Bitcoin can hold itself in here to get its way marched up, and hopefully so, right? I think it's real interesting though, because like I do sit here sometimes and I read the chat before we get going. So hi all of you who hang out in the chat prior to the stream actually starting. Sometimes I do say hi to you guys, but I'm running around doing a lot of things. I'm building charts over here. I'm getting everything done, so I can't like hang out and chat. And I got to eat breakfast, so I'm not grumpy. I'm not grumpy pants when I come on here. But you could just see that screaming happening. So I already know sentiment has turned down on this particular dip. Again, sentiment. There's red in the market, right? This particular dip has caused a lot of sentiment shift. And usually when we see big negative sentiment shift and panic and screaming and crying, that's the good sign. So hopefully it holds in there, and hopefully by the end of today we do get some timed news to show up right here at this moment, and then everybody's holding hands and singing "Kumbaya" by tomorrow. Wait. Somebody, I missed it. Oh, there you go. AK Grown 71 says grumpy is okay, but spicy is awesome. Okay. Yeah, no, I tried to try to keep that stuff in check. And I was telling Eric that yesterday. I was like, man, I don't like it when I get too spicy. Like, I'm really not trying to be like that. And I'm like, and he's like, nah, man, people love it. I'm like, really? I'm like, yeah, man, it's raw. I'm like, I don't know. I seem like a jerk sometimes. Jeez, Pat, my man. Jeez, look at all those green names now. Holy cow. Thank you, Pat. And guys, thank him for hooking you guys up. Pat stayed up till like 2 o'clock in the morning to be able to do that for you. Pat, thanks, man. Gifted 20 BCB memberships, dude. Thank you. All right, so there we go. So like things I'm doing right now. If you guys know, I've been putting out these newsletters. I've been doing like intense research on the altcoin market, and trying to decipher what was it that was it increased the odds of the altcoins that were successful. If you haven't done the math, or if you're just relying on what I'm saying, 1 out of 5 altcoins ended up having big runs in 2021. That was the math on it, 20%. I've done that on various different examples, whether we're looking at if you look at like the top 10 of the crypto market, you look at the top 20, top 30, the numbers are very consistent, 2 out of 10. I've even gone through and I just did this whole newsletter where we go through and look at percentage drawdowns. Once again, it confirms even from the top 100, the numbers again, 1 out of 5, 2 out of 10, 20%, whatever you want to call it. That was it. So I've been spending, the last several months, ever since I went to Consensus earlier this spring, to try to figure out what could have been done to increase the odds from 2 out of 10 to like 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. There has to be something in there to do that. And these last 2 newsletters have been diving into a tremendous amount of data to show things that improved likelihoods, right? And so today I'm going to be spending a lot of time going through that because there was new data that was provided here 2 days ago, and I found it probably just as important, maybe not just as important, but compelling. I think it'll open your eyes, compelling to say percentage drawdowns absolutely did impact likelihoods of seeing new all-time highs for assets. So I'm going to go through. Today is going to be like I need to dedicate time to my portfolio to look over my portfolio, apply this developer stuff, apply the percentage drawdown stuff, and just kind of clean up my portfolio a little bit to get it allocated the way that I want to have it in here. Because if things do get exciting, I want to be ready for that. And then, I've got like a 7% cash position right now, and I've got those shorts over there on Apple and Microsoft, and if there ends up being a plunge, well, then I'll have some capital to allocate, and I want to be prepared to have my little list of which ones I want to be able to grab. So today, I don't know if I'm not planning on there being a video today, just because it's time for me today. I really I've been working hard all week. These things take forever to put together, but I'm going to be working on my own portfolio today. And I said I'm going to need to dedicate a few hours specifically to that. But either way, you can check this stuff out on blockchainbacker.substack.com. There's a link in the description of this video. or this live stream, and I just posted a link over there in the chat. I don't know what's going on here at Teachable. I don't know why this thing's all gray right now. But you can check out bcbacker.com too for 40 videos from me and over 11 hours of content. Everything else is fine. I don't know why the top thing is all gray. I even logged in to try to see if I could fix that. I don't know. It wasn't like this yesterday. It wasn't like this morning, I don't think. But either way, check out BC Backer throughout the weekend if you want to get some more stuff. Otherwise, the big thing to be watching for throughout the weekend is Bitcoin. Are you going to hold these higher highs and higher lows going in here? And can we get maybe some news this afternoon or later this morning to send this market shuffling to the upside? Because it does seem like we've finally gotten there. And you guys know it. The whole time I've been like, look, we're not gonna have expectations that things are gonna happen quickly. But it does seem like we've gotten pretty dang close to where everything has kind of reached its point. So hopefully we end up getting that heading into this weekend. And then when we see all of our family next week, they're like, you were a genius the whole time. You're not a dummy. I just thought you were a dummy the whole time. You were a genius the whole time. Hopefully that's what happens next week. They'll be like, wait a minute, but were you the guys waiting for 12K? Okay, never mind. Okay. So keep our eyes on these markets. They're dicey this morning, but we'll see if we can catch ourselves the bounce to get our way out of here by the end of the day. Otherwise, the stock market, there you go. Slight down over here in the stock market. Not much, right? 0.09%, 0.08%, 0.15%. Metals look like they're slipping a little bit. Of course, I'm cheering for silver to pull its way down. Silver actually, I did throw up some fibs on there from this last move. While this was the peak of gold over here on Friday, October 20th, gold actually did peak at its 786 Fibonacci retracement. So silver didn't get there. Now silver has gotten there. So hopefully silver gives some discounts as we head into Black Friday, because I do, that's like my time. Otherwise, DXY, nothing crazy, but definitely a move down this week. So we gotta shuffle down this week for the DXY, and hopefully that leads the way for Bitcoin to get rocking. So all right, there we go. I think that's just kind of the state of where we're at. If you're not cheering for Bitcoin, you ain't doing it right. That's the big thing to be cheering for this week. If we want to see this market keep moving up in there. If Bitcoin does break from here, my thoughts would be, hey, we got to hold these previous highs over here for any signs of optimism. If we start breaking way down here, boy, there's big problems happening in the cryptocurrency market, at least for Bitcoin, probably for the altcoin market too. But in the end, coming back to the support levels is a normal thing. But hopefully that's just not the case, and hopefully we do get our way out of here and we just go for the rampage. But fingers crossed, because it's kind of like we're at that end. Let's go, man. Let's go. So, all right. That's it. That's what we're all going to be biting our fingernails for in the coming days, is if Bitcoin can go. And if Bitcoin can go, regardless of what's going on here in the altcoin market, I tried to show it to you guys when we started the stream, and I've tried to show this to you for the last 4 weeks. This is what you cheer for. Altcoin market tends to come behind it, right? It's a little bit later and then it goes. But we have already seen the altcoin market go ahead and exceed this range. Total 3 has. Now we're just waiting for you to give the signal that we are allowed to shoot to the upside. And that's what we're waiting on. And fingers crossed we can get that today or tomorrow. All right. That's it. 28 minutes of rambling. Let's hop into the chat. Follow the fiat. 26 months as a member, man, a hodler too. Thank you very much. Follow the fiat. I'm ready for the insanely bullish intro. Yeah, I am too. All right, here's the deal. If Bitcoin can break if Bitcoin gets that break here, we'll play it next week. By the way, also let me throw this out there. I've been doing YouTube videos for way over 4 years now. I'm like a super long-term vet who's like, man, I mean, over 4 for sure. I'm being sarcastic there if you don't get that joke, but I have been doing it for over 4 years. In the early years, I made the mistakes of like making YouTube videos through the holidays and stuff like that, and then just found myself completely burned out. And then in 2020, making videos through the holidays, and then like never giving myself a break. And then 2 days before Christmas, the SEC sued Ripple, and I just had to keep making content and just ruin Christmas and everything. So a boundary I do always set for myself nowadays is when we get to Thanksgiving. I do take Thanksgiving off. I do take the day after Thanksgiving off. I take that Saturday and then Sunday off. So when we get to the holidays next week, I will be off Thursday through Sunday. So prepare for that. We will have markets in the morning, Monday through Wednesday. We'll have videos and all that good stuff. But Thursday through Sunday, I'll be off. You should be off too. Go enjoy your family. The charts will remain here, and we'll be able to look at those. They'll still be here. Just go enjoy time with your family to not get too burned out. That's what I do. And then we'll address Christmas when it gets closer. But just so you guys, that's next week, so that you guys know. Thursday through Sunday, I'll be off. All right, but yeah, if we get the break up in Bitcoin, if it goes up, we'll play the this one. Where are you? That one. All right, HCI Matt, new member, welcome. Member for 3 months, a backer. Thank you very much. Hey BCB, where do you see others targeting? Same levels, right? Just the retrace levels, just like the other ones. Do I even have others up here? This is all from yesterday's video. Get that off. The whole struggle area for this market has proven to still be from here to here. Right? So 270 to 360 is that kind of area of struggle happening for the market right now. So that's where we're getting to, and then we'll look for signs as we get closer to it to see if we can narrow that down a little bit more. Hopefully just the 702. I mean, it's a little ironic that you have the peak happening right there, right at the 702, right? We also know for total, for Bitcoin, the 702 retracement happens to be $1 trillion on the button. So, that sets up interesting narratives too, right? Like, I mean, we'll address it another time. I don't want to speculate stories. Some of you guys will take anything I say, spin it and interpret it and then say, hey, but you said, and like, no. So I have to kind of like sometimes hold back because some of you guys are nuts. All right. Let's move on. Show BCB some love and hit the like button. Spags. Thank you very, very much. Spags, appreciate it, man. But hey, I hope I answered your question, brother. The 702 is like the main thing I'm cheering for, at least for now, right? Like that's just, and if you caught yesterday's video, right? Like in a normal crashing structure, like what would be ideal, like the ideal situation, but we have to, like, it's going to be this wall of worry a little bit higher if we get there, right? First of all, we got to get out. We got to get out of here. We got to not like say, hey, we're going to do this longer. We've got to get out, which we haven't yet. We're literally at the resistance. So you could see that how significant it is of where we're at. We're at the resistance, and we're at a point where Bitcoin needs to lead the way. Bitcoin has to lead the way first here to give the rest of this market the assurance that it's allowed to leave right now. If Bitcoin doesn't leave right now, it's very unlikely the altcoin market is either. So we need Bitcoin. But once it gets up higher, this is the area of worry. But the likelihood is on crashing structures is that we do come back. You get up here, then you do slam back down. And those aren't tiny percentages. You would see decimation in the altcoin market in something like that. We're talking 54% just on average. You'll have some that do 70 and 80 and 90%. You'll have some that only do 40, but you would have some that would just get absolutely hammered and destroyed. And so, that's if it doesn't even wick lower, right? I mean, if it wicks lower, I mean, you're looking at huge numbers. We're talking like C19 style stuff, right? and we'll all be playing a game of hot potato at this point, right? If once we get the breakout happening here, the whole thing becomes a game of hot potato in there, because it is so common to come back and back test these things. Then the answer for me will be like, okay, now the question is, what happened to the stock market? Is the stock market settled, right? Is something dramatic happened over there in the stock market, and have we settled? Can we build bases now? Did we find like a real support, especially if we find it right here? And again, like this could pull back. This could take longer to get out of here, right? But if we're playing the imagination world of if this happened here, if it found supports on top of here, right? Like what we talked about earlier, right? This thing kind of stalls here, but then eventually breaks down, right? There's like the big rally like we saw back in 2020. And then you have the technical throwback. And if it finds supports on top of here, and if Bitcoin, finds some supports on here, I may change my thoughts. And again, this is these things where these people like to twist the words that I'm saying. If we can find supports on top of here, I could open my eyes to new all-time highs for Bitcoin. I can open my eyes to, and my thoughts to continued rises and higher market caps for the altcoin market. But there's a lot of unknowns out there first. We have not even retraced this market yet. You don't even know what's going to happen during a retrace on how bad it could be. And could this just be an A leg, B leg, and C leg, and it goes crumbling down much lower? This has to happen first, right? Then after that, there's likely going to be a S your pants moment in this market. Likely. Like, very likely. Gonna cry. There's people who were here early in the chat before it started, and they're sad about one daily green candle. We're talking like if you were not in the market during C19, you don't know. You don't know what that's like. To watch the whole market wipe out 70% in 3 days. That's I don't think like April of 2021 sucked really bad, like really, really bad. But C19 was really bad, really bad. Anyway, point is, if we build a support on top of here, well, that's a technical structure. That means we still have assets in this market that are still developing. We have, sets of lists of stuff that is growing, and then we have technical levels that are actually still holding. Give me all that. I can open my eyes up to saying, and then if Bitcoin, right, throws back and holds on top of here, well, then we still just continue that 2016 game. We still just continue the whole up to 702 retracement, wham, down in here, and then continue. And what is that? That's just still 2016 continuing. And if we can pull off something like that, I will open my eyes to new all-time highs for Bitcoin. But it is not inconsistent with me of being like, we got to get back to retracement levels, and good luck. Good luck guessing what's going to happen at the retracement levels. There's going to be a lot of profit taking, a lot of money that gets pulled out of this market. If you were a 12K here, but then you become a 100K right here, I'm a 12K, I'm a 12K, I'm a 12K, I'm a 12K. Now I'm a 100K. Great. Right below the retrace levels. Cool story. The more euphoric it is for Bitcoin here, the worse it is. So I'll just say that. If there is euphoria, way more 100K charts posted over there on Twitter, that's the worst thing you could have. Right? You're gonna once there's no more 12Kers left, and everybody thinks they're going to 100K. Come on, guys. No Bitcoiner will ever tell you, yeah, that's like 150%. Wow, life changing. Wow, gonna make it big, huh? Living the dream. Gonna just retire for 4 days. Cool. All right. I'm being a jerk. All right. I'll stop. All right, moving on. Bitcoin, you're still holding $36,000 sitting right there. So hoping for some pre-planned, timed Bitcoin news to be coming out at some point today. That would be ideal. And for the magical unicorns, for the puppet masters to do their job, for God to have already pre-programmed it in or into our simulation, whatever it may be. And, all right, moving on to news. Dow futures climb 100 points. Yeah, so it was in the positive prior to the market opening, as market heads for third straight weekly gain. But of course, it has turned over now. Amazon says employees may not get promoted if they ignore the return to office mandate. Ex-Meta staffers see booming businesses targeting online disinformation after 2 wars break out. Oh, thanks, Meta. New U.S. home construction increased unexpectedly in October. Z's big week ends with rare wins on U.S. ties, Taiwan, and economy. Backlash spreads over Musk's endorsement of anti-Semitic post. Muni bond. Okay. Wall Street bosses turn to AI. Okay. It's nice that the Israel latest, it's like really way down here. Remember, we had like 4 weeks of it being there. Now we're like got economic stuff finally. Okay, looking over here at Cointelegraph, Ripple lawyer urges fact check of Gary Gensler's speech, says SEC's actions seen as shady. No kidding. Wouldn't that just be perfect if it was the SEC who came out today and said, hey, we just want to let you know we have been mulling over those ETFs, and yeah, we probably are going to approve them. And like the SEC is the one to like show up and issue the timed news for Bitcoin. Wouldn't that just be like shady as could be? Shady. All right, Bitcoin bull market FOMO is absent as Bitcoin price nears key 39K profit zone. The 39K, as it nears the 39K profit zone. Okay. Calling it a profit zone. All right, Bitcoin bull market FOMO is absent. Yeah, the market's scared. Every time we go up, market is euphoric. Every time we go down, the market is scared. Up, euphoric, down, scared. We're never coming down. Oh no, we're doomed. Oh, we are fun. All right, breaking into Liberland. Oh, we did this one yesterday. Expect some crypto companies to fail in the wake of. Oh, we already saw this stuff yesterday. So they're repeating some of their news stories. Nothing new. Okay. This is the only thing that matters, you guys. Bitcoin holding here, holding the higher lows, holding that $35,000 level. And then, whoop. Get a go. Have a fun weekend. So that's what we're all waiting on right now. As for markets, as for like stock market and stuff like that, you got gold and you got silver still battling up against those retracements that they've been battling in for several weeks at this point. Nothing new to take from gold and silver in here. And then you got kind of the same story happening over here on the Dow as it's back up in here. We'll check on the NDXT here in a second. Now the Dow, of course, has gotten back up to them too. Just teetering right there up near the last one. NDXT, yeah, you're slightly in the green. There you go. So it'd be nice. So we saw NDXT poke slightly higher. Come on, NDXT, give us a rally to save the day. And maybe that's what we end up getting. Maybe it's something economic related that goes along with Bitcoin. But it sure seems we're primed for the news. We're primed for a news story and for a YOLO euphoria for Bitcoin. So hopefully we get that today. Okay. Thank you, Spags, for saying show Bitcoin, show BCB some love and hit that like button. Yeah, we're at 818 likes. Let's see if we can cross 1,000. RP says, BCB, shout out my wife, Diana, for her big law job. You got a new job. Let's go. Diana, rock on. Congratulations on the new job. Ryan Reese says, I know we'll see where the markets are. We'll see where the market's at regarding XRP's price potential, but do you mind pulling up the fibs? We'll look at taking profits if Bitcoin rips. You're going to have to choose your own places that you want to take profits at. I don't tell you where to buy or to sell. I know we'll see where the markets are at regarding XRP's price potential, but do you mind pulling up the fibs we'll look at taking profits if Bitcoin rips. If you're going to take profits on Bitcoin ripping in here, that's fine. Do whatever you want. I mean, I'm not, but you know, this because I can hold this thing for a long time. Some of you guys can't. Some of you guys are like, I'm FOMOing today. Every time there's new news, I look at some different type of stuff, and there are people who just lose their mind FOMOing. They go, oh, I guarantee there's a ton of people who like went super deep on that ETF fake news. I know there are. There's people who like immediately dumped stuff to get into XRP during that news. Same thing when the SEC news came out and stuff like that. And it's like living in the serious moment. So if that's how you are, if you're like an in the moment type of person, you know, you got to do what's right for you, right? You know, there's a lot of retracement levels up. You got to understand the whole way up for XRP is just nothing but resistances, resistance, 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 resistance until price discovery. And all the way up there, there's 100 of them. Whether you're just using the range of 2021, right? Whether you're just using this range in here, how much resistance there is all throughout there. And then not only that, you need to be using market caps, but all the resistance levels that exist within here. And then you're going back and then you got all the resistance levels that exist within here. And they're all going to matter. There's going to be a ton of them until, you know, it can enter into price discovery should it be able to. So what's your time frame? Is your time frame this move right here? When this move happens, that's where I'm going to make sure I'm day trading. I mean, you know, the question is kind of more tailored towards your personal choice, right? So I'm not the type of person who is sitting here actively trading all the time. I just don't have the mental energy for it. It's exhausting to sit there and manage a bunch of positions at all times. I have found swing, for me personally, swing trading multi-year timeframes is the thing that has netted me the best results. And I learned that just going through 2017. I tried doing the stuff in the shorter term timeframes. And, you know, when things are rough, right, everybody like showboats, yeah, see, I'm just making 3% here, 5% here. And people are like, wow, you're a real genius. And then, but then when you see stuff like we've been seeing these last couple of weeks where stuff's firing up 20, 30% in a day, you know, like the little 3-5% traders aren't partaking in that. You know, they're getting, and the way to get, then I noticed in 2017, really learning that a lot of these trying to play those little moves so much ends up causing portfolio erosion. And you know, you think you're trading. I mean, how many people have gotten washing machine in the last year and a half? Raise your hand. I mean, nobody's gonna do it, but you know, a lot of people have gotten themselves washing machine trying to trade it. And so it's up to you, brother. I mean, there's a lot of stuff up. I think the thing is just going to be looking for confluence. For me, the way I'm going to be treating it is looking for some confluences that be happening. If we see others, you know, get back up into retracement levels, then we see total get back up into retracement levels. We see Bitcoin get back up into retracement levels. Wherever XRP lands at in that moment is probably where it's at. And if there's a confluence of a major resistance there, whether we're still within retracement levels or we're entering into price discovery or something like that, saying, hey, look, this is the thing. These are the cases. This seems to be the level. That's the struggle. One thing that is interesting, you know, crash, retrace, reaccumulations, right? Is that, you know, we talk about that a lot with a crash, retrace, reaccumulation. XRP did, on its market cap, went back to the 702. And so, you know, it still has this long triangular consolidation that is happening in here that, you know, rampage up there. But it's going to be having to incorporate that. There's going to be all these resistances that reside up in here. It's just, you know, the question, the way you phrased it, there's a lot, this depends on your time frame. It depends on your patience. How long have you been in XRP? Have you been in XRP since here? Have you been in XRP since here? Have you been in here? Or did you just come in here right when this happened? Your personal tolerance is going to be different than most people, just because everybody doesn't have the same tolerance. Everybody doesn't have the same patience. Can you sit in here for 3 years? Can you only sit in here for 2 months? Can you only sit in here for 1 day? Did you FOMO buy this peak, right? And now you're upside down, right? It's a lot of different things. So for me, it's going to be looking at bigger time frames and watching Bitcoin, watching others, watching total market caps, which is the thing nobody wants to hear who's an XRP holder. They want to hear XRP is going to zoom to the moon on its own. There's just no history of that happening. There's no history of, and we've been hearing utility for years, utility for years, utility for years. Well, you know what? Ethereum is utilized like the most out of the entire cryptocurrency market. But guess what? It goes with the market. It goes when Bitcoin's going. It's going when stocks are going. Everything like that. Value pours in, and price appreciation pours in when the rest of the markets are moving up. And the story has been entirely the same for XRP. And so it just depends on how much this thing can go when the rest of the market is going. All right, I got to go faster. I'm going way too slow. So, Ryan, you're a huge supporter of the channel. I appreciate it, brother. But where your tolerance is and how much, how your strategy is like, I don't know if your entries are here. You're already up 100%. You can already remove everything. Every penny you've invested can be removed right now, and you can ride this thing scot-free, right? I don't know where your DCA is or your time frame, so it's going to be kind of a personal choice. I try to give you all the tools, man. All the tools to be able to do that kind of stuff yourself. You're just going to have to kind of figure out what's your time frame and what are you playing. Are you playing full cycle? Are you playing multi-month? Are you playing daily? What are you doing? Andy R, huge fan. Finally getting to join you live. I'm home from work on convalescent leave after LASIK. I can't see a dang thing or watch, but I'm listening. Okay, well, the good news is your eyes are going to hurt tremendously for about a day. But welcome to the new world. You're going to have good... forget those glasses. If you wear those glasses, I always know, you... probably used to putting your glasses on first thing in the morning. You're going to reach over there to put them on and be like, wait a minute, I don't have to do that anymore. Thank you, Andy, and welcome. Snoopy Girl, hey, BCB, you've taught me so much just from your channel, so I decided to buy your course. I did 40 minutes last night, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I said Snoopy Girl? Really? Why? Snoopy IRL. Snoopy IRL. Thank you very much. I'm glad you are enjoying it. There you go. That took a long time to put together. That was my project of 2023. Thank you so much. I'm glad you like it. Fluffpaw, hi. Any news on Kathy Wood's Bitcoin ETF request and how it might affect Bitcoin today? So be nice. I don't have the answer for the ETFs, right? So I will say this: I've been through this rodeo before with the ETF stuff. This is like 2019 and 2020 on repeat. It's like they're using the exact same model of keeping retail engaged. Is that there's an ETF coming. So we went through a lot of this. So I personally, for the last 6 months, have said, look, it's like a carrot being dangled. That's what it was in 2019 and 2020. It was a carrot being dangled. And so I try not to put any type of vested interest into the ETF. And my thoughts are every single financial product that has been released for Bitcoin has marked a reversal, whether that's the Canadian ETF, whether that's ProShares ETF, whether that's ProShares Short ETF, whether that was Bitcoin Futures in 2017. Every financial product, major financial product, has marked the end. Whether that's to the downside or to the upside, that marked the end. I know the narrative associated with Bitcoin ETFs right now is, no, you don't understand. The salesmen are going to get all the people to buy it. So it's super bullish because there's going to be all these people who are going to buy it because there's going to be sold on it. I don't buy that. I also think that's a really, really, really bad bull thesis for an investment. Then you don't understand a bunch of salesmen are going to make the next people the suckers. I think that's a pretty bad bull thesis. So I don't really track the ETFs. The only thing I know about ETFs, like that I consistently see over there on Twitter is that people do anticipate that it will get approved by January 10th. I don't know. I'm used to the SEC just delaying everything and using every delay tactic that they have and pushing back and pushing back and pushing back. I'm also used to the SEC versus Ripple delays and seeing that no matter what, they always found a way to delay stuff. You'd think they couldn't, but they did. They'd find a way to push things back. And I would think that would be no different for Bitcoin. And I also am in the thoughts that once it does get approved, it will be the reversal. What would likely happen, is some announcement, whether like they announce it and say, hey, it's coming out on this date, right? If they say, hey, it's coming out on this date, there may be a run up to that date. If they say, hey, it's starting tomorrow, then there may be like this big pop, big surge that happens that day, but that will mark the end. And so my thoughts are for any ETF, if it ever even does get approved, just based on all financial products that have ever happened for Bitcoin, is it will mark a reversal and it will mark the end. But otherwise, I don't put any vested interest. I put literally zero into waiting for ETFs or caring about ETFs ever, because I've been here. We went through all of this in 2019 and 2020. It proved to be a waste of energy to care. Wow, I'm way too far behind. But Fluffpaw, thank you. And that's just my honest answer, right? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That's my true answer. Eric Martinson gifted a BCB membership. Eric, my bro, thank you, man. Nicholas Lund, thank you very much. Do you think the Dow Jones Industrial Average has completed an ABC correction, or is it in some other Elliott wave pattern? I can't really pull it because I'm so far behind and we're already at an hour. I'm not going to be able to pull up a lot of charts at this point right now. But I cover the Dow quite often. So, I would just look at the things that we talk about in the Dow. The things that are scary about the Dow is that it set the lower low. Those are typically bad. Dow is back into retracement levels, right? So we need to see Dow get through these retraces, and we need to see Dow set a higher high. Like, it is so important for this Dow Jones to get above that high. So important. This is sketchy level because we took out a low. We took out two lows. Desperately need to see it get out above here, or it risks serious danger. If it gets above here, it really opens up the door of, okay, well, that was our high, that was our low, that was our high, this was three flows, and that's our low, three flows, and then we just keep on marching until we finally get to the Great Depression top, which also is a 4.236 extension, and then lights out. But as of right now, this is our problem. We need a new high for Dow desperately, considering these lows were taken in here. Okay. Thank you, Nicholas. Duwara Consciousness Foundation says, hey, BCB, you mentioned three scenarios a couple years ago regarding Bitcoin. The third was Bitcoin would drop below, then hit an all-time high. What's your thoughts on this now? Thank you for everything. Shout out to Oscar Hernandez. Right. So I posted in December when the bear strikes, right? So like officially labeling it out there, Bitcoin is in a bear market. The bear market has begun. Right. And then if you guys don't know, in January of this year, they put out the bull strikes. The bull market had begun for Bitcoin. That, retail never really appreciates those when they come out. Or to say that you got the bottom or you got the top until already we're way beyond it and way past it. So I don't think we're going to get nearly as much credit for the bottom call as we did for the top. But I think a lot of, at that time, it was very, right. So we had just hit a 4.236 extension on the market cap, right? Let's do this. We'll go live in that moment real quick. I'm building the chart on my other screen. Just give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. Bitcoin has now done a 4.236 extension on its market cap, and it has hit, and officially, we're in a bear market, right? Retail still didn't believe it at that time. Retail was still accumulating Bitcoin down into these lows. They're still buying and buying and buying. But here, this. And so this is where the three scenarios come out, right? Retrace, or break down, and then shoot back up and go, right? At that time, we didn't have the clarity to look at it from the perspective of that. While we did recognize from the very peak, like we knew it, like we could see it, we watched it the whole way down of this, right? We studied all this. We're like, look, we're acting like a bear market literally from the top. We're doing it identically. We are in a bear. But making the correlations of being like, we actually are this far into it. Like that just wasn't clear at that time. It's like, hey, look, these are what bear peaks look like. But making that real connection at that time to be like, we're actually this far into it, right? And that's why this becomes so like, holy cow, it's dramatic. Like no big retraces, no nothing, because we're like literally really, oh my gosh, come on, you can do this. We're like literally really that far into this thing already. So, the third scenario, right? It was clear we were in a bear market. It was clear it was over. Even in the video I put out yesterday, was showing all that stuff. Like we got the top. Even here, we knew we would go into a new all-time high. We knew that would be the top and it would be over. In October, we knew the top was coming in and be over. And so you're referencing to a video in December 5th that was posted that like officially outlined 3 different bear scenarios, right? None of my scenarios accounted that we were this deep into it. It just didn't make any logical sense at the time until now that we're this far into it and you see all the indicators, all the everything that ended up happening. In an event like that, you would have expected it to really like reverse right here. You'd have expected it to really kind of go back up like that. So I don't think, any of those seem logical to me with the new information that we've had that has gone on at this point, that we've seen all just the way it all played out. Was it a bear? Yeah, it was a bear. But, were those particular bear scenarios right? I don't think so. So I think the thing that we've learned as the years have passed by is that, when that's recorded in December at the peak or shortly thereafter, accounting for all of these things, that then eventually became much more clear that we completed like everything about this was like ending phases of bears. And that's why there was no retracement that ended up coming in here, because we were acting like the end of an actual bear and that we were already in a bear. That was just unfathomable, right? We knew the new high would come in, but accounting that, hey, we're actually already in a bear, but we're going to go higher, right? Bizarre. But, that's what it is. So I don't think any of them. So I think you got, the things that, why do we talk about, like, the reality is this seems to be your most viable option still today. Today, what has happened? We've done multiple super cycles, and each super cycle has recovered in the same way after a bear is complete, right? You see all this stuff. It's all perfect. Everything's beautiful. Obviously, the price levels are at different places, but structurally, it's all legitimately perfect. Even the recoveries are perfect, because in each recovery after a super cycle, you go build a support on top of the previous range, right? That still is the most normal thing to happen. And even right now, like, of course, we're all cheering for this to be the case and for this thing to rampage and go rocking and rolling. But if Bitcoin is going to just act like Bitcoin and do the thing that it normally does, hopefully there's that. But still, the 7-month ranging thing is the most normal thing for Bitcoin to do in a phase like this. And if I had to say, if Bitcoin does go into all-time highs, like if there is chance for Bitcoin to go into all-time highs, this is still your scenario. It's that, maybe we get the pump up to 52K, 51K, 50K, you hit the $1 trillion mark on the market cap, boom, you slam right back down, and then we still have 7 more months to go. That scenario would make me feel that it's more likely that there's more all-time highs in the future for Bitcoin at some point. Right now, of course, we're at that level. Like right now, where Bitcoin is, it is that crazy Ethereum example, right? It is that where Ethereum rolls over and it goes and takes out the lows down in here, right? Down below the previous consolidation range. Bitcoin is right at it. That is where it all happened from. That whole 2K scenario, the $2,000, $3,000 Bitcoin stuff that we've talked about for the last couple of years, that scenario, this is the rejection level right up in here. Where we're at right now, we go take out these lows, we come down in here. Oh boy. Big problems. In no circumstances for Bitcoin being a bull, none. Should we be closing candles below here, be closing them into the 28s, into the 27s. It opens up that whole $2,000 to $3,000 door. But I don't think there's any, in my view, unless this thing like literally copied and pasted itself like this, right? Obviously that would give you all-time highs, right? I just don't think it's going to. I don't think we have the conditions required for something like that. So if I were to think there was an all-time high coming for Bitcoin, it would probably have to still just continue doing this 2016 stuff where we still sit here within the course of the next couple of months. We go back and we back test 31K. We bounce up, probably test it again, hang out, and eventually move up another level. That would probably be my only all-time high scenario that could have any type of likelihood, just because it's behaved exactly like it should after a super cycle has completed. So, okay, got to keep going. Thank you very much, Duara. Eric Martinson gifted another membership, brother. Thank you very much. And so did Hans Loaded. Thank you guys. Michael J. Love said, BCB, tomorrow I'll be dancing with my daughter to I Left Her First after I give her away. Oh, bro. Oh, man. Walking her down the aisle, man. Crazy. I can't even fathom what that's like to be at that phase in life. Hopefully you're happy. Hopefully she's happy. And be grateful if she is, because then she's got someone to care for her and love her. But I don't want to think about that, sir. I have a daughter. I am the love of her life. No thanks. But man, I'm sure about it. I'm sure you're just happy to see her happy, man. So congrats, though. Hans Loaded, member for 6 months, brother. Thank you. He says we appreciate you. Thank you, sir. Well, he's 702 crew, bro. Whoa, Bowl, member for 2 months. I've been here since 2019. Thank you for everything. Thank you very much. Sebastian Downs, member for 2 months. Can you shout out my dad, Travis? He introduced me to you and crypto, so I'm very grateful. Thank you for all your hard work that nobody ever sees. Behind the scenes that nobody ever sees. Thank you, Sebastian. I appreciate it. And Sebastian's dad, Travis, thank you for spreading the word, man. Hey, it's BCB. Thank you, Travis. Have a good one. Philip Mann gifted a membership. Thank you, Philip. Rick Close says, you made me laugh when you said some of you guys are nuts. LOL, coffee up the nose. Not Oscar Hernandez. Dude, it's been a while. He says, good morning, BCB. I was talking with my buddy, and he suggested call options on short ETFs like SQQQ instead of puts on stocks. Thoughts? Love you, brother. Yeah, well, I can hear that. It depends, right? So if you're like studying indexes and you're doing it based off indexes, right? So then you're just going to short the indexes. Well, in that circumstance, you're longing a short ETF of an index, right? So it's whatever your personal option is, right? I watch Apple. I watch Microsoft closely. So Microsoft has all those markers that look just like Bitcoin did at the top. And Apple is back into its retracement levels. So those were just two places where I felt comfortable kind of taking the shot at. And I don't care if those things blow out and go to zero. It doesn't matter to me. I just needed some downside protection right now. And so that's where I entered in my shorts, or, longed some puts, right? On both of those with expirations in April. I don't talk about that much on the channel because I in no way support leverage trading in the cryptocurrency market is the way you lose all your money. And I go into it with buying these puts thinking the best case scenario for me is for those to expire worthless and for those to go to zero, because I'm not treating it as I'm actually doing the Great Depression trade. I'm actually treating it as just a hedge for the exposure that I have in crypto right now. So I built like a 7% cash position in the cryptocurrency market, but then have the short exposure over there as well. So if there's some big dip that comes in Bitcoin in here, I've been working on building my lists of things that are important based on historical behavior, what I would grab. And I would use the money that I make from the puts and the cash that is on the sidelines to go grab those things. But if we did end up getting total to shoot all the way up to the 702 retracement here at like $2.2 trillion, and Bitcoin gets to a $1 trillion market cap, and others gets up there to $360 trillion, and total two, and we all get the 702 at the exact same time, and the Dow is like sketchy as can be, that may be where I take the big old Great Depression. I was going to say GD, but that's also the acronym for swearing. So we're just going to say Great Depression. Take the Great Depression shot by opening up like massive puts. Right now, I wouldn't consider it massive. It's more so just a hedge of downside risk. So, okay. Andy Philp, thank you, not Oscar. That's just a personal call, man. Like if you're watching indexes and you think they hold indexes, or do you think, like for me, I just think Microsoft's overextended. It looks just like Bitcoin. It reminds me of Bitcoin, of being in distribution. It's in the final up thrust after supply, right? I can't remember the terms, right? We're in the last phase. It's kind of like when you have last point of support, or when you have a spring phase, it's your up thrust. It's kind of like being in your spring, but to the reverse distribution phase. So that's what, like Bitcoin's top essentially is what Microsoft reminds me of right now. So that's why I took a shot at it, and it's just protection. Andy Philpott, thank you very much. 5 BCB memberships, man. I appreciate it, Andy. And not Oscar, it's great to see you again. Oscar Hernandez, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who put together that epic intro that we had there yesterday on the video. He says, let's hit the like. Dude, yesterday's video was epic, and the ending was like an Easter egg. Much love. Yeah, I did give hollered at Oscar right there, but right before I said, have a good one. Thank you, Oscar. And then Oscar gives 5 BCB memberships. Like, Oscar's like the most famous person on the channel. Like, I will be retiring and just handing it over to Oscar, and everybody will still just tune in. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Bullish Reset gifted a membership too. Man, you guys are getting memberships left and right in there. That's a lot. There's been 41 today. It's crazy. Jay Jacob, why did others not backtest accumulation last cycle? Last cycle. Let's go look. You're talking about right here? Yeah, it gets away, right? But you have to realize like where Bitcoin was, right? And so we keep calling it last cycle, right? And it's to remind like this is part of one whole cycle. Like, and so many people still say, and it's just having to remind ourselves that this is the cycle. It's one big cycle. This is a pit stop along the way, right? Crash, retrace, reaccumulation, contracting triangle, wave 4, contracting triangle, 4.236 extension. It's the end. But there's so much marketing done to us that this 4-year block reward halving is the cause. It's the magic. It's the mysticalness of Bitcoin to be like, that is the root cause. But it's not. It's just not. And so that this is actually a pit stop. The stock market pit stops here. Everything pit stops. And then finally we go on. The stock market breaks out. Bitcoin breaks out and goes with it at the exact same time. So stock market's ripping, right? Stock market's ripping into new all-time highs, right? Is the stock market already ripping into new all-time highs? Almost at this point. The thing is, I mean, you have a good question. Let me ponder it for a while. Because I feel like I have a good answer for this, but maybe you've stumped me. All right, let's go like this. Right? Yeah, it doesn't go all the way, right? Let's go on the daily. Gets close though, doesn't it though? It gets close though. So like here's your sign of strength, right? Here's your sign of strength. Just above the peak, breaks out and falls back into sign of strength. So you get a little shy, right? You get close, but a little shy. How about like total 3 in total? How about you guys? All right, we had the total. So like you get out here, but then you do pull back here. Then you like, so, but this area that we're all struggling at right now in crypto, it's like right here. Right? This phase, it's like we're over here. Let's go to total 3. All right, we get it here. We do get it here. All right, we get out. Here's like your April, and there you pull back into it, right? So others, maybe it just has to do with the introduction of a lot of new assets entering in. They're recognizing that the market is taking off because others is going to include everything except the top 10. So any new assets that gets brought up out of nowhere and completely brought out of thin air, their market caps just get added to others. So is it possible a lot of new assets are just being added in here and the market cap's just being added and added and added by those other assets? Possible. But I wouldn't say it didn't pull back, right? I would say it did. And that's over 30% pullback, right? Maybe 25. Let's take a look. 32. So I just wouldn't expect that there's not going to be one. Maybe the altcoin, maybe total doesn't. Maybe it doesn't. But I wouldn't want to see it going below there. Okay. But I think that's a good point to make on others. Why doesn't others go? This is going to include everything excluding the top 10. So any new assets that get entered into the market, for example, right now, what's a new asset right now that just came out recently and there's super hype about it? It's that TIA, right? Celestia, right? That doesn't get added to total 2, total 3, nothing. It just gets added to others. And so this is a new coin. It gets entered. It gets added to others' market cap, right? So it's food for thought. That's a good point. I'll think that over. But that's what I would probably think. But I wouldn't expect that there wouldn't be a pullback. Bullish Reset says, thanks for the membership, 702 crew. BC, you the best. Well, thanks for hooking up Bullish Reset, guys. Oscar Hernandez says, well done with A1 steak sauce. Oscar, I can't recall, man. You did. And you sent it back, didn't you? When we had dinner. You sent it back. And you said, I need that more well done, please. Oh, boy. Oscar. All right, Fluff Paw. Man, with the super sticker generosity, thank you very much, Fluff Paw. No message, just a thank you. I appreciate it, man. OG Maddox says, how do you feel about Caspa doing a 20x in a bear market? Please don't FOMO, guys. Thank you, BCB. You're the GOAT. Well, that was interesting because we had talked about this recently, that there was nothing that like when in 2018, 19, and 20, like we had still some like we had DeFi summer one year. We had Chainlink that was always crushing it and rocking to the upside. But like just a couple of weeks ago, I was asking guys, is there anything? Like that's the concern. Like why is there nothing that has been on some like isolated bull run, like one thing? And people did point out Caspa. So, Caspa, obviously, it's already 20x. Yeah, it's too far gone for me to even considering it. But it makes me happy that there is something doing it, that there can be some sign of life actually happening in the market. That's my thoughts on it. Because I was like expressing concern a couple of weeks ago saying like, we don't have anything, like nothing. And they were like, no, Caspa, man, Caspa. And it's like, okay, thank God. So I just view it as like, thank goodness that's a capability in the market with how this market has been. But yeah, of course, it's something that, I'm not playing with. But thank you, OG Matic. Sick Thinker gifted 5 BCB memberships. Sick Thinker, thank you, my brother. All right, there we go. I've gotten through all of them. If I missed anybody, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. But it is Friday. Today, everybody cheering for Bitcoin to get something to have it, to cause it to shoot up. Hopefully through the weekend we get it. Hopefully later today there's some timed news that comes out. But that's kind of what we're cheering for to get through today. Keep an eye on there on the stock market. It looks like it's getting a little bit of struggle city over there, back at those retracement levels as the day does kick off. Leaders of the day are Caterpillar, Arc, and Ford. Losers of the day are Google, Microsoft, and United Health. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Gold is, of course, it's back in its retracement levels too. So no clear sign is deciding to come from gold or coming from the Dow. They're still just in the big fat battle. Bitcoin, though, we're looking to see if we can get our way out of here now as we are finally nearing the end of this. Really, it's been just kind of, for the last 3 weeks, we just kind of show this thing. It's like, oh yeah, we're just kind of keep on creeping along, whether a divergence shows up in the altcoin market or not. But it does seem like we are actually kind of reaching a point where, this was exactly what happened, right? We had an ABC, it shot up, everybody gets euphoric, it shoots right back down, everybody's panicked and scared. And then it was after that, it just kept on marching. So that's what we're kind of hoping for to get out of here, as that 38K level has been a brick wall so far, unable to get through it. And I do think that getting through 38K is going to be the thing that we need to see first before any of those altcoin market caps go breaking up. And obviously the market's telling us that too. So cheer for that throughout the weekend, cheer for that throughout the day. And that's what I'll be keeping my eyes on as I go digging back through a lot of the stuff that we've talked about in here and get my own spreadsheets going, as I'm going to likely make some adjustments throughout the portfolio today to kind of clean a couple of things up. Maybe weed out some garbage in there. Otherwise, we're posting steaks in the chat, I see. We're just staking it up. Otherwise, I hope you guys have an absolutely wonderful weekend. I do highly suggest you check out the newsletter, the blockchainbacker.substack.com. I think the last 2 newsletters in there will open your eyes up a lot to the data that's important over there for altcoins, on what was successful, at least in 2021, and seeing those correlations and how that all played out. And it gives you kind of a chance to take a look at what you got right now. And just, mull it over at least. I find it to be like I find this data to be the most valuable data I've found all year. So, and I put it in the last 2 newsletters for you guys. So I hope you liked it. But judging by the number of views that these newsletters have had, I know you guys have. So thank you all so much for watching. Of course, check out bcbacker.com throughout the weekend to get more videos from me, more content from me. Hopefully they get rid of this gray. I don't know what's going on with this thing. Tons of videos in here. Again, more historical behavior and charts and indicators and Wyckoff accumulations and Elliott wave theory in there over here on bcbacker.com. Otherwise, guys, cheer for Bitcoin to bounce its way out of here and for some timed news to come in and do its thing. Otherwise, guys, thank you so much for watching. That's it for this one. If you could, please like this live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live As always, this is not investment advice, and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.